Welcome to the House 75 podcast. We're so glad to have you all hanging around the house with us today. We are back for week 13 of NFL football. If you are joining us right now, it is Tuesday for you beautiful people out there, and you can join us every Tuesday for our NFL recap. On the dot, go give us a shout out, a follow, a comment, a like, TikTok, Instagram. We're on YouTube now.
Yep.
Go subscribe to the channel if you want to catch us every Tuesday talking about NFL. And for future products, going to be a lot of stuff dropping. Lots of cool things on the horizon. We'll be talking about NBA here soon in the off season. And then we got some other cool nerd stuff coming up. But listen, obviously if you're joining us, you're here for NFL. I'm your podcast host, Noah Marano, along with my co-host and producer, CT ESPN correspondent, Mustard! Who's performing at this year's halftime show I hear.
I am. Yeah, I'm super excited. You seen that hit from Aziz Al-Shahir?
Did I?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He took to social media after, which I thought was really heartfelt.
Indeed he was.
Yeah, and he just said praise to Allah. So I don't know what we're giving praise for it, because he borderline almost committed murder.
Well, just as the towers hit the plane hit the... Okay, so we're going to be getting the recap of NFL games right now. This was a fun week of football. This was the first week I would say I truly had the full diversified Octobox.
Okay.
I had 7 different games in the red zone, all on my Octobox. First time all season.
Okay.
Most time, I kind of pick and choose what I want to watch, and I'll probably put either the Vikings game or the red zone on one full thing. But
you watched all of them.
I had 7 glorious games going on at once in the early window. All of them were quite fantastic. Really wasn't too many bummers of games. Thanksgiving games were kind of all what we expected them to be. We probably won't touch on them too much just because all the home teams won.
I think everyone in the country kind of knew.
Everyone kind of knew who was going to win those games. The Bears definitely gave it a run for their money, and it ended up getting Eberflus fired. And so we'll get into that a little bit. The Wicked Witch is dead. Eberflus gone.
Dude, I know we've kind of been talking about it throughout the season, and we went back and forth. Do you fire him? Because that's been the Bears' problem, is that they draft a quarterback and then they fire the coach 6 times
For sure.
But he had to go.
That was the single worst game clock management I've ever seen in my entire life.
And he doubled down after.
Yeah, he really did. You hear about what happened in the locker room too afterwards?
He said we played it perfectly.
Yeah, and in the locker room, he also apparently tried to play. There was a report saying he tried to play it off to the players, this bad beat guys, we'll get it next time. And Jalen Johnson, their cornerback, got up and was ripping him a new one for 5 minutes, talking to the team, and it was just clear that he had lost all control. Pretty cliche thing to say, but locker room was gone.
Yeah, but that's a big thing, man, for these coaches, because reports are even coming out today about the Dolphins, man, and stuff with Mike McDaniels, that the locker room, it's in bad shape, and that is one of the biggest responsibilities for a head coach.
Yeah,
is to make sure that locker room is buzzing, and it's all good. Even when you're kind of losing, and losing makes it very hard. Yeah, very hard, because these guys are the most elite athletes.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't get there by not being competitive. Everybody wants to win. Everybody's a dog. So it's losing is that's the easiest way, fast pass express way to lose a locker room is lose games.
Especially in the way it's happening.
Yeah.
There's so many of these games where they could have won. I mean,
there's at least 3.
There's at least 3 for sure that they definitely could have won had it not just been for poor coaching. And so
they could have easily taken Detroit to overtime.
Yeah, and so I was rooting for it personally. Me and my uncle, my father were all yelling at the TV. The refs were trying to do everything they could to take that drive away from the Bears, but they persisted anyways, and then it just didn't matter at the end. So bummer for the Bears, great for the Lions. They keep on cooking. Cowboys, Giants, not really too much to talk about. That was a bummer bowl.
Boring game.
And then, cliches ring true apparently at the night game. The cold just stops Tua in his tracks.
Hey, man, that was a good call.
It just stopped him in his track. And for a second there, I was kind of thinking man, I would love to just see the Dolphins just come out and I don't know, 2 drives, just go down the field. And nope, they played soft. And all their players said so afterwards. It's just the same stuff every time we see this scenario with them. And so it's just kind of like a guaranteed bet. Like nobody's going to believe in that team until they can break stereotypes like that. And like you just said, like now if Mike McDaniel's inside the locker room is not getting, the respect he needs, that's going to not be great for the outcome of this team moving forward, because there's a lot of old players, a lot of big contracts on this team, a lot of unsure contracts like Tua. Tyreek's getting older. Who knows how much?
He's 30, I believe.
Yeah, so like he's coming up on the cliff, the wide receiver cliff.
Just had another kid
fast.
today, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Just had another kid today.
And then Black Friday, Chiefs. They sure did embolize Black Friday, baby. They pulled off that black magic voodoo.
Yeah.
They were going crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know what gods they were praying to down below.
Dude,
wasn't my god.
It wasn't. Dude, I'll tell you what, man. It's been a funny joke all season, but it's like every week goes by, and then you kind of like squint your eyes and tilt your head, and you're like, "Huh, that's interesting." And then the next week comes, and you go, I surely can't keep getting away with this." Then the next week comes, and you go,
This has to be the one.
This
right?
This is a fluke, right? Then the next week happens, you go, okay, well, now they're 11-1.
Yeah.
Or 12-1, or 11-1.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second.
Literally still in grasp for the 1 seed right now.
Dude, but like, if you look at all their games, bro, like half of them they should have lost.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. If this team hadn't won the Super Bowl the way they did last year, they would be compared to and didn't have, I'm not going to say didn't have Pat Mahomes because they've got Pat Mahomes. But like, even with the way Pat Mahomes is playing this year, I wouldn't be a 1-to-1 to what the Vikings were 2 years ago and what the Steelers were like 3 years ago, but it's pretty damn close. Like this, I saw a stat today that shows they have one of the top 3 worst point differentials of any NFL team, 11-1 in history. That starts off 11-1.
Oh yeah, I believe it. 100%.
I believe it. So listen. Unfortunately, because of what they've done in the past and because of who Pat Mahomes is, it's like, this is just going to be what we kind of have to live with the Chiefs this year. And, like even the Patriots, like winning teams just win close games. They find ways to do it. So if that's how they're going to win the bowl, like that's how they're going to win the bowl. It's nothing. If they win it, they win it. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It really doesn't. Like we can come back and put asterisks on teams all day long. Yeah. Like, were they really a good team? Like at the end of the day, they were the last one standing. And if that rings true this year, it's only going to play into the lore. I promise you in 10 years when we're looking back on this, we're not going to be like, remember that one season they should have lost like 11 games and they didn't?
This is very true.
We're just not going to do that.
Very true.
We're going to see three-peat, and that's what we're going to see.
Yeah. or we're going to see, like a 1-loss record going into the Super Bowl and losing, hopefully.
Super bad beat by the Raiders. Feel terrible for them. Because that was like in their hands. Yeah. It really was. They did, again, like the Broncos did a few weeks ago.
And the Panthers did.
Everything they were supposed to. Yeah. And they were in position to win the game. Not saying they would have, but they were already in field goal position. Like, just a bad beat for them. Colts, Patriots, don't want to talk too much about that one. Sucks for our Pickems. We were winning that game the entire time, and then
I know that
Colts kind of stole it from us.
That really hurt our Pickems. I feel like if we had a chance if the Patriots pulled that out, but that drive at the end the Colts had, man, it's just
we were right about a lot of what we said about the Patriots. It just didn't fall our way.
They had them on 4th and goal, man.
I know. One game that absolutely didn't fall our way, and we were just dead wrong about it. It may be time to have a deeper conversation about this team. Steelers put up 44.
I think we need to check the Bengals pulse.
On the Bengals. I didn't realize the Bengals made it so close at the end. It's actually the final score was 38-44.
Yeah.
But there was a point in that game
at the end.
Yeah, it's a garbage time touchdown. But there was a point in that game where it was like it was a 2-score game near the end of it. It wasn't even really a competition.
Do you want to hear the defensive stats for the Bengals?
Please.
They allowed 44 points, as you know.
Yeah.
They allowed 520 yards.
God damn.
410 passing yards from Russell Wilson.
Oh my gosh, man.
110 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 field goals, 31 first downs, and they only forced 1 punt.
Defense is historically bad.
That's really bad.
This is one of the worst cases I can remember of like you literally stack his numbers up. if this defense was good and if they even had a remotely like outside puncher's chance of winning the division, Joe Burrow would be the bona fide MVP right now.
Oh yeah. You want to hear this? Bengals have scored 99 points over the last 3 games. 99 points, all 3 games combined. They lost every single game.
They're 0-3. Like, what more can you ask him to do? He's doing what he's supposed to.
It's crazy.
I don't get it, man. It was not on my bingo card this year. I figured their defense would take a step back. I didn't realize it would regress to literally one of the worst defenses in the league.
That DC's got to be gone, right?
It's crazy, though, because, like, Lou Anarumo has been one of the best defensive coordinators in the league the past 6 years.
Yeah, I saw stats of the last few years he's had. How long has he been the Bengals?
I don't remember. He probably came on with Zach Taylor, so, like, the year before Joe Burrow got here. I guess really where I'm getting what I'm saying from is really just, like, when people talked about Lou, A, it was always like out of big respect. And B, if you historically look at him against the better quarterbacks of the league, he's always given them fits. Like Pat Mahomes especially, he's always given Josh Allen fits. And so I don't know, man. Like it's just a complete 180 from what I expected from this defense. I didn't expect him to be this bad. I just expected them to be like middle of the pack.
Yeah.
And honestly, if they were middle of the pack right now, the Bengals would be
in the playoffs,
in control of a playoff seating right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's just.
I do think we need to have a deeper conversation. I think this makes the rest of the way complicated for our Pickems.
Oh, 1,000%.
Because it's like, even though their playoff picture might be dead, like they have the boom potential of putting up 40 every single week.
Yeah.
And it's like, not every team can really keep up with that, even though the Bengals defense is bad.
For sure.
So it's like, it puts us in a weird position. So we're really going to have to like approach every week with like caution.
It's also just like, how many weeks in a row are we going to be like, but if the Bengals win this game, and this game, the rest of the way.
I think they're truly dead.
I was gonna bring that to you today. Is I think that might have been the nail in the coffin.
I mean, we can check the pulse. But
I mean,
they're looking pretty pale.
So they're currently 4-8, I believe. They're 4-8. They have 5 games remaining. So if they sweep them, they get to 9-8. We've always kind of hovered around you got to get to like 9 wins. Probably gets to 2.
We've said they had to win out for the last 4 weeks, and they've won one of those 3 games.
Now it truly becomes, if you don't win out, it's over. It's over.
We've been saying that for so long.
No. We said like they could drop one. I've been consistent on 9 wins. 9 wins gets, and because listen, again though, as much as I hate to say it, they play the Broncos, who right now is their competition for that. The Dolphins, I don't think are alive for it. I think not only was that defeat moral, like is mentally challenging for them.
They got Pittsburgh again.
Week 18. Week 18. But listen, because like really, so what are the Broncos right now? The Broncos currently sit at.
I think they
sit at 7-5.
They're playing tonight.
7-5. So it's like I'm saying at this point, they are on the ground bleeding out, and they're about to lose the pulse.
Yeah,
I think it's there, but it's like that episode where like they're drifting in and out of a coma and dreaming dreams in their coma, type thing.
I don't know. I'm curious if they drop another loss. What you?
No. If they drop it to the Cowboys, it's over. I'm telling you, you won't be able to. Mathematically, it just becomes you won't be able to do it anymore. Even if you beat the Broncos at that point, the Broncos would quite literally have to go 1-4 over their next 5 games, and that's just not going to happen. Like I think
said that's about the Bengals,
because the Broncos are just a good team.
They went 1-4
for sure, but the Broncos are just a good team, and unfortunately, like the Bengals are just not this year.
Yeah, and
it's not even the offense. I hate to say it that way, but they're truly losing a fantastic opportunity they've had with this offense.
And then now they got to pay Jamar.
They got to pay Jamar.
And Jamar's definitely shown he's worth all the money.
You're going to have to pay Jamar even more than they would have had to pay him last summer.
Yeah.
You're probably going to lose T.
You probably have to lose T.
You could pay them both. You absolutely can.
You can.
You won't be able to do anything about your defense unless you knock the draft out of the park.
Yeah, I will say T stock has probably gone down just because he's been so hurt.
I agree, but it's just like crazy because like every time he's in the game, he looks like a stud.
He makes a difference.
He changed a lot. So, but yeah, the Bengals are probably dead. I'm definitely not holding out hope anymore.
Yeah.
It just kind of sucks because I would like to see this offense in the playoffs. I just think it makes for exciting games.
No, for sure.
But I will say, listen, Steelers surprised me. Did not expect another 40 burger out of this team.
I mean, we talked about it last
It's bad.
week, bro.
It's a
We
bad
said-
defense, but at the same time, I mean that's a good outing. It just
Yeah.
is. So
And it's funny because like I got a text at the beginning of the game saying Russ has come back to earth. I think he threw a pick six.
yeah, it was like right after he threw the pick six.
Was it pick
I
six,
sent
right?
it. I sent it right after he threw the pick six.
And he proceeded to throw for 400 yards.
Yeah,
I think the best outing for a quarterback this season.
yeah. And then no,
Yeah,
no,
I think it was.
no. Kirk threw for 500. Burrow's throwing for like 400, like maybe
It was
two
one,
or three
one
times.
of the best.
Definitely one of the best. But
One of the best. I think that might have been a career game for him
I'd be interested to see that number.
because he's not known for doing that kind of stuff, like throwing for 400 plus yards.
Yeah, that was. I don't know, man.
It has to be up there. One of his best career
It's
games.
got me looking. Listen, even if I don't believe Russ is this all the time, there is a world where this is Russ this year. And so, like, if that's the case,
So you know that magical run you want for the Vikings?
no, it's probably not going to happen for the
I know.
Vikings.
No, I
Or-
know. You know the magical run you want for the
no,
Vikings.
it's not going to happen to the Steelers either.
Pittsburgh might be on
If
that
the
magical
Steelers
run.
were in the NFC, I would say that's a completely different equation,
Hey,
bro. They're not getting through some of those teams.
hey,
They're
I'm
just
not gonna lie. The Chiefs, they don't look that great. They could lose. Will they lose?
They don't. But I'm
It
not.
depends what spells they conjure before
I'm,
the game.
I'm not picking the Steelers over literally the Chiefs, the Bills, and
Okay.
I don't think I would choose them over the Ravens. I'd say even the Chargers is a coin flip game.
They could.
I mean, yeah, they absolutely could, but I don't.
The
I
Bills
wouldn't bet
would
on
be tougher, but that defense, bro. Defense is
They
enough.
let 38 points on the board
Yeah, but they forced how many They forced like 4 turnovers.
for sure. I don't know. I'm not going to believe in the Steelers until I see it.
Yeah.
You know, these spectacular years, like I think it's just because of the competition at the top of the AFC. It's just really tight, and you're playing against all-star superhuman quarterbacks. Like just
I mean, Russell
otherworldly.
was that at one point in his career.
Yeah, but it's been a while since Russ was like that. It's been a while. It's been,
Yeah, listen.
dang near 3 years.
I think you still undervalue them, and that's okay. That's okay.
I do. I'm not going to believe. I just
I
not
know.
going to be a point where I believe unless they're in the AFC Championship game. I'm not really going to believe there's a chance.
And that's fine.
So, Chargers just pants Kirk Cousins in Atlanta,
But like they didn't really. They did, but they didn't.
but they did.
But the game was kind of close the whole, even till the end.
But those throws were embarrassing.
They were bad.
Like the one where
Kirk embarrassed himself
He
more
did.
than the Chargers really embarrassed
did.
him.
the one where he like threw a ball out to the right side and
Yeah.
it just like is so slow. And then the second one he threw in the end zone, he threw a little lollipop in the end zone too.
Bad.
I was like, what are we throwing?
Bad.
What are these little cupcake throws?
Terrible.
Good Lord. They're like cotton candy flying through the air. I mean, you were just asking for them to pick it.
Easy pickings.
So yeah, he quite literally cost him the game.
Oh,
Which that was
100%.
a backbreaker for our Pickems as well, because like
was.
if he doesn't throw even just 2 more than he did,
Yes. If he just plays mediocre,
we might pull it out.
bottom half of all of the quarterbacks that played, they would have won that game.
Yeah.
Would have been fine. If the Patriots just held on.
Yeah.
I mean, we're good.
Yeah.
We're golden.
For sure.
And then, the Bengals one, we were going to lose. That one we just lost.
Yeah, we just lost. That division becomes a lot more interesting now because
Yes.
Tampa won.
Tampa did win.
Barely,
Barely.
but they
By
won.
the, what is it? What is the saying?
Skin of their teeth,
Yeah, by the skin of the teeth or like what's the chin one?
by the hair of their chinny chin chin.
Yeah, that's that one. I mean, I'm telling you, they should have lost that game.
No, yeah, they got lucky.
Very lucky.
Got very lucky with that Chubb. Honestly, I don't even want to say luck. That guy ripped it from Chubb.
He made a good play.
He ripped it from him.
He made a good play, but he still was very incredibly
That's
lucky.
close.
Very, very lucky. That being said, I know as a Panthers fan, like I should feel some type of way, but it's like we also do have like zero chance at a playoff picture, and they do. So I guess the only good thing to come out of that game was it kind of makes the NFC South division interesting.
Yeah, you can also play spoiler for a lot of teams the rest of the way.
Yeah, because we still have a couple divisional guys. It's just if Tampa Bay lost to us, and then because obviously
It would have
Atlanta lost,
Yeah, it would have
just
sucked. It would have sucked for Tampa Bay because like this really was their 1 week with Atlanta faltering like that 2 weeks in a
they
row
had
now.
to take advantage.
That they've actually lost 3 in a row now, Atlanta. So, yeah, that was like a big opportunity for the Bucks. And now if they win, if they have to finish with a better record than Atlanta, it's the only way they're gonna. So,
and we have Tampa Bay again.
Yep. Witching hour struck hard. for the Jets, for the New York Jets.
That was crazy.
They were breaking the Seahawks' backs.
Yeah.
And then it just totally flipped. That Jets team is just dead.
Did you see that?
If there wasn't already nails in the coffin, that was pretty.
Did you see that throw that Aaron missed to Garrett Wilson in the corner
Yeah.
end zone?
Yeah, wide open.
He was wide open.
There's not a person in 10 yards of him.
And he overthrew him.
Yeah.
That was tough. When
Yeah.
I saw that, I was like, ooh, this is not good.
We're hoping for a Tyrod appearance here soon.
That would
Got to be coming up.
That
It's
would
got to be.
spice things up. You think so?
It's got to be. They're 3-9.
Gosh.
And Aaron has not put up any memorable stats. Not once.
No, I
Their
agree.
offense has underperformed
I
every single game.
I will say Devontae dropped a crucial ball
For sure.
late in that game.
For sure.
And Aaron, he overthrew him a little bit, but Devontae, being who he is, should have caught that.
I agree.
Which could have changed the outcome of the game. But yes, I agree.
Just a couple wash dudes on a wash team.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Texans player tried to commit murder on national television.
That was crazy, bro.
That was by and large one of the dirtiest hits I've ever seen. And if you actually go back and look at the replay, it's kind of funny because he actually doesn't even hit him with his helmet.
No, his one with his arm.
But that was so dirty.
That's even more force, I feel like.
It was so dirty, man. It was just, I mean, if you look at the replay, like I know it's hard, like game speed, but like Trevor is starting to slide quite early.
So
that was just rough.
So I was looking into this. I watched the replay over and over.
Yeah.
And I was curious with some other people, kind of like their perspective. First and foremost, I think he's a safety. He's a D-bag. Is he a safety or corner? Either one. The defensive back, Aziz Al-Shair is his name.
Mm-hmm.
He plays for the Texans. He came out on social media today, and I don't know if you read it, but it was supposed to be an apology. Like it was an apology post. But if you read it, he does apologize, but he basically essentially says his intention is never to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
And he says, which is funny because he says in his post, I am going to hit the person as hard as I can, but I just pray that they get back up. I was like, okay, interesting.
He's like a D&D character.
But
like slays you and then be well, my soul.
I just thought it was interesting. He basically says, if anybody who knows me, I'm not a dirty player. My intention is never to hurt somebody. You're trying to do the same thing I am, as provide for my family and whatnot, which, I understand. He says he claims he did not see Trevor sliding until it was too late. The replay, Trevor, I do think Trevor slid a little late, but he was trying to get the first down, which I understand. But that dude was coming like full speed. And it's just like,
it's also the fact of what you led with as well.
Yeah, it's definitely like a really tough position to be in. I will say, so I saw this post from who Kurt Benkert is?
Yeah, the Packers former quarterback.
Former quarterback for the Packers, backup to Aaron. I think he was backup to Aaron.
Yeah.
He came out and because he's a pretty prominent figure right now on social media.
Yeah, on YouTube too. He does all the game breakdown. His game breakdowns are honestly some of the best ones.
Oh no, he's a brilliant mind.
Isn't that so crazy how much more brilliant even a backup third string QB is to just average dudes.
And those are the type of people who make because I'll always say this in sports, no matter what sport, there are people who are fantastic at the game.
Yeah.
And there are people who are fantastic at teaching the game and explaining the game, right?
Yeah.
Kurt is one of those guys who can communicate the intricacies of the game of football, right? And that's why he has such a great platform. Well, anyways, he was kind of talking about his thoughts, and he, although does not justify the defensive back's tackle or the hit, he does agree that Trevor did slide late. And he said, and it was great from his perspective because he's been in these quarterback rooms for multiple teams, and they're always taught slide early, way earlier than you think.
Yeah. Slide.
If you're not, and this was an important part, if you're not, dive. Because that is the best way to protect yourself.
Yeah.
If you're not going to slide early.
If you're giving yourself up, you're completely defensive.
Exactly. It reminded me of the Joe Flacco hit. Joe Flacco took a few years ago from Kiko Alonso, the linebacker from, I think he was at Miami at the time. The same thing. Joe Flacco slid and gave himself up. and Alonso hit him
Yeah.
and about knocked Joe Flacco out cold.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's such a dangerous and scary thing to happen. And I know we all saw it live and we all freaked out and we're
Yeah.
like, that is not good, because like Trevor was like, I think he was out cold for a little bit.
He fenced too.
Yeah.
He did the fencing thing.
So it was like, you hate to see it.
Yeah.
But it's like, you look at the replay and stuff, it's like, it's not all the D-backs' fault, although it's majority his fault because he made the hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know if like obviously people were very upset with him.
Yeah.
Obviously, Trevor's teammates were, a brawl broke out and they were hitting him. And he said in his post, like, he's like, I understand why his teammates did what they did. They were defending their guy. I understand that.
Yeah.
But it's just, dude, that was
so
terrible, bro.
He's a linebacker. I looked it up.
Oh, he's a linebacker. Okay.
And he's a big dude.
He's a big dude, yeah.
So like that's
and also like he's known for
he is because what you sent me is like you sent me the highlight reel of like it was with that
some
post
dirty hits,
and literally this guy has a career highlight tape of just being dirty.
Yeah, he's got his. I watched it. It was probably like 6 or 7 very dirty hits.
And
like
so
quarterback out of bounds already, and he's chopping their knees.
I'm sure in this guy's heart of hearts and mind, he thinks what he is saying is true.
Yeah,
but from an outside perspective, I'm sorry, it tells a different story.
I do agree. I think he should be suspended.
He has to be. There's no way he doesn't get suspended.
No report has come out yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure the league, I don't know what
it's
the
hard
league's
because you
do.
don't want to set a precedent for this that could repercuss through a long time from now. So I don't know. Like I think he'll definitely get a fine, 1 game, 2 game. I don't think it needs to be crazy severe, but
one or 2 games is fine. I even think 1 game.
One
honestly,
1 game and a hefty fine would be. I feel like
I
enough.
think is fine. But he even said in his post that him and Trevor were talking before the game, like they were chopping it up, and he was saying, "Hey man, I'm so glad you're healthy. I'm so glad you're back. It's great for the game." And then he
was born in Tampa and went to Hillsborough High School.
How about that?
Right down the road.
But dude, it was. I mean, you never want to see it. Doesn't matter who it is. Like you never want to see somebody take a hit like that, even if it's a team you hate. Like that's just not okay. And prayers up to Trevor, man. I hope he's okay, but he's probably out for this season.
I mean, listen,
he's going to concussion protocol.
He did
sure.
He did the fencing thing, and I understand Tua obviously was out for a long time because that was like multiple occurrences, but. You do that, like concussion is already in today's world. It's pretty much 1 game guarantee. A lot of players I've seen this year has been almost 2. Like Neighbors was 2 as well as Tua. I would be their season's over.
That's what I'm saying.
I'd be hard pressed to say he comes back.
That's what I'm saying.
If he does, maybe it's for morale in the last week of the season. I mean, listen, he's gonna want to play. So if he gets cleared in 3 weeks, he's gonna play the last 2 games of the season.
Yeah,
but
it's just he's worth so much money.
I agree. And they just need to reset, man.
They do. They do because I mean, I mean, their season was over a long time ago
for sure.
But like losing Christian Kirk and it's Trevor going out in and out of the season. It's a mess. Why risk it? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Team we loved root for, Commanders.
They
went full commander.
They balled out.
Yeah, they did.
I needed it.
Yeah.
I needed it like to reaffirm myself. This team can ball.
Yeah.
Because the last 2 weeks, took some losses, and I was like, they didn't look good in those losses.
No.
And so I was like,
Jaden looked a lot better too in this game. He moved more than I've seen him move in the past.
And they're going into the bye.
Yeah, get healthy. Wrap up because you have another important matchup at home against the Eagles in a few weeks. And I understand you lost a game, but you still have to be playing as if you can take that division from them.
Yeah.
And because all it takes is for 1 game slip up by then, and then at that point you're a game out. It comes down to that game. So
yeah, for sure.
The Eagles too, they've got a frisky Panthers team in Philadelphia. We'll talk about that coming up later. Then they've got the Steelers before they've got the Commanders. So
Steelers obviously are proving to be a tough team.
Listen, Eagles look like a juggernaut right now. It's not out of the realm of possibility that they go into that game for the division. It's just not. Yeah. So. If I'm the Commanders, rest up on that bye. They have coming up after that bye. Who do they have? They have got the Saints in New Orleans.
Saints have also proven to be frisky.
But that is a winnable game.
For sure.
Very winnable
That
game.
being because Taysom Hill's out for the season.
Yeah, true.
So,
They're
so that Taysom
the heart
was,
and soul.
Taysom was like
the cog that made it run, man.
He was the extent of their friskiness for
he
sure.
He really was. All right, let's keep it pushing. Rams beat the Saints. Speaking of the Saints, not really too much to talk about in this game. I don't feel like
close in the beginning.
Just kind of the Rams just kind of are that team that like you see it, but also they're just like kind of underperforming.
I think I said it best in the text I sent you. I said, dude, for some reason this Rams team just looks like stalled out.
Yeah, it just kind of looks like they're
they don't look dominant, and it's like they got their guys back.
Yeah,
and it's like
I will say they're one of those teams at their peaks. They look better than a lot of teams, but they're not at their peak right now, and I don't know if that peak is ever coming back. Like it might just be gone. So. Two really important games that wrapped up the weekend before we get into our ISOs. Eagles bullied the Ravens, Baltimore, man. Bullied.
Yes.
The score's closer than it kind of indicates.
The score is closer than what it is.
There wasn't.
The Ravens literally scored with no time on the clock.
There wasn't much stopping that Eagles offense all night.
Eagles offense was.
It just looks like a buzzsaw right now, and that secondary and that
AJ Brown has woken up.
Looks just insane.
That O-line with Saquon is. Oh, there's just like doesn't matter what your defense is, like they're gonna do their thing, and then that defense, bro.
Yeah,
Cooper DeJean.
That defense is insane.
Quinyon Mitchell. Did Slay play? I don't even know.
No, I believe he's coming. Based on my Eagle sources, I believe he's coming back.
Yeah, so like he didn't even play, and that's one of their best quarters.
I agree. He's gotten older and he's fallen off.
But he's. Still,
I don't even want to say he's fallen off, but he's definitely not at like the same Slay, but he's still. If he's your fourth guy in the secondary,
come on, like he's still very.
It's insane. It's a complete turnaround. It's honestly the biggest reason I believe in them as a team. Like besides Saquon doing what he's doing,
Ed Reed I think went out this game. He either went out this game or didn't play this game. I think he went out early.
Did he?
Yeah.
Cooper?
No, Ed Reed.
The other one.
Yes, Ed Reed.
Blankenship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Cooper was in the game, but Ed Reed came out.
Cooper had a mean tackle on the kick.
Yeah, that was nice, bro.
That's pretty. Those white boys can play.
I know. I love it.
It's hope for us white boys everywhere. It really is.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. They just look like a buzzsaw, man. And honestly, like right now, it's between them and the Lions. And I think the only other team that's got a puncher's chance is the Vikings. And I think there's a gap. There's a sizable gap.
There is a gap
between those teams. So we'll talk a little. I do want to mention a couple like a little bit of tiers after we get done with this that I kind of thought of, but. Ravens defense, dude, your defense just isn't good this year. Talk about Bengals defense not looking good. It's not as bad as that, but
not nowhere near as bad.
It's also bleeding every single game, and there's not much to stop the bleeding. So that's gonna hurt their chances. Like I said last week, because of that defense, I just can't reasonably expect this team to do anything in the playoffs. I just don't see it happening. They play Buffalo again. Like I understand
you don't see the Baltimore doing anything.
I don't. Because their defense, man. Like, I just don't. Like, if I see, like, teams like the Bills and even the Steelers right now who have their number, and especially the Chiefs, like, they're going to have to go to all three of those teams.
Yeah. No, I think they can still make noise in the playoffs. I think they just have – I mean, Lamar, I don't know if you saw his post-game interview. I think I sent it to you.
I saw some clips from it.
It's like when this dude is a, what, two-time MVP?
Two-time.
It's just like this guy's he's gonna come back out of this bye with a vengeance, and we'll see what that looks like. But if they make the playoffs,
they have the poor Giants out there bye.
Oh yeah, poor Giants.
It's tough.
But they come out of this bye, they make it to the playoffs, bro. They can make noise. It's like we've said it before. Make it to the playoffs. It's one game, man. Anybody can have a bad game. Anybody can have a good game, and what. The team that they have the boom potential. Do I think they can make the Super Bowl? No, I don't think they can make the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm talking about.
But do I think they can make some noise? Yeah, I think they can make some noise.
What do you define as noise?
If they catch Buffalo or Kansas City in the first two rounds, like they could win that game. And I'm not saying they will. Are they the favorites? Probably not. But they just have the boom potential to take out one of the juggernauts early in the. Now, can they take out both of them? No, I don't think so. Yeah. But if they catch one of them in the first or second round,
I agree with you there.
Yeah, why couldn't they win one of those games?
I agree with you there. I think noise more in my mind is what I'm seeing is like, can they make the AFC Championship game? And I I just don't know if this team can do
Yeah,
that.
that might be a little much.
Yeah.
That's a steeper hill to make the AFC Championship. But first and second round,
I'm
like,
still
I
not
think they
counting them
could.
completely out. I just don't think they're winning the Super Bowl. That's all.
Yeah, I agree.
49ers, Bills. Bills look legit. 49ers are dead.
Yeah. That's
Very
tough,
dead.
bro. That's so tough.
I honestly couldn't care less. I've never really been a fan of the 49ers, so
I know.
I couldn't care less.
I'm a big McCaffrey guy.
I know. Bummer for him.
Because he's my
Bummer
boy.
for me, Jordan Mason. We'll get back to that.
Yeah. It's just like I always root for McCaffrey. I always will for the rest of his career. So I just hate to see him go down. I hate to see him dealing with injuries. So like that's when I say like, that's tough. Like I can care less really about the 49ers. I care about my boy, and I really did want to see him get a ring. And it's just looking
it's tough.
more
Best
and
year was probably
more-
last year.
It's looking more and more like that ship has sailed, and it's just like my heart goes out to him. Don't come back to Carolina by no means, but maybe.
You're telling me you wouldn't accept him back in Carolina?
I mean, I don't know if I'll be there. So
With Bryce Young, baby, going crazy. You
Yeah.
telling me the tandem of Bryce Young and C-Mac couldn't pull you back to Carolina?
Oh, it 100% could. 100%. If Bryce Young keeps playing how he's playing, and C-Mac's like, I'm going back home,
Yeah.
and he plays P Diddy, or what is it? I'm coming home. I'm back. I'm just
Wild
there.
Diddy drop here in the episode. Sorry for our audiences.
So yeah, it is what it is.
Bills look legit. Thoughts?
They do, bro. But if like I look at them and it's like their roster is not that impressive.
That's what makes it more impressive because
I know.
while I do agree with you, that is my first thought. When you actually look at all the defensive players and how they've drafted, they actually just do have a bunch of good players on defense. And like Sean McDermott is
do.
coaching the lights out of that defense right now.
But it's
Like that rap safety, every time I watch the Bills, he's getting a turnover.
yeah, no,
Every single
their
time.
defense is legit, but I look at their offense and it's like they've had better offenses in the past, and it's crazy that like I mean Josh Allen really is that
Yeah.
good. And we were saying earlier in the season too, because like Josh Allen's notorious for it. He starts
Yeah.
off the season
Yeah,
so
like
hot, and then he just kind of cools off, and he's like, all right.
He's just a roller coaster.
But he's just stayed hot, man. I mean, I don't know if getting engaged to Haley Steinfeld
Dude,
is like lit that fire.
talk
under
about
him.
voodoo.
It's like
That's
I
some
don't know
good
if-
type of voodoo, right?
That is some good voodoo. Whatever Haley Steinfeld's doing, I mean, keep doing it because the Buffalo needs you.
Yeah, they really do. Like I don't think you understand like how much they need you.
Oh yeah,
I don't think, but yeah, no, I think that's why it's more impressive is because while again, like if you look through the glass, it doesn't look like their offense is as great as it's been in past years. But I think what makes this Bills team different is they're just way more rounded than any Bills team in the past. Like Von Miller is playing out of his mind. He's got that stud on the other edge. I forget his name, but he's going crazy. I think he's a rookie if I'm not mistaken, but he's going crazy. They've got Rapp and Hamlin who are playing like really well in the secondary. Matt Milano is coming back, I'm pretty sure. Like he's coming off his injury here soon. Not saying he's going to be great, but like
it's a veteran linebacker.
yeah, the veteran linebacker, and their defense has been really good. And on top of that, like, yeah, you don't have Stephon Diggs on the outside, but you have three really solid receivers and one who's been a veteran who at his peak, like, has looked really good in Amari Cooper. And James Cook, who, listen, when he's got running room, like,
running, man.
he's an animal.
He's
and
toting that
their
thing.
backup, Ray Davis from Kentucky, is also an animal now. So, like, I don't know. And when you got Josh playing the best of his career, he's not throwing picks. He's just doing good things right now. And so that's why I have faith in Buffalo, where it's like sometimes, like, yeah, even though your offense can be otherworldly, but when you run into a team like the Chiefs, who are just a better team that year, you know,
I think
it becomes a problem.
I think my only worry is when it comes playoff times, it's like that's when like you notice the stars on each team. Like
1,000%.
Like that's when it's like evident, like, okay, this team just has more star power. It's like why I'm scared of a team like Detroit. Because
Yeah.
like Detroit's like in the playoffs, like the stars are gonna come out, and that's gonna be the difference maker when everything is like laid next to each other. And why it's like I'm not hesitant in Buffalo because I want to believe in them. I like Buffalo. They're feisty. I would love to see them in the Super Bowl. But it's like I'm a little scared because they don't have the star power necessarily. But, you know, who knows? Like, maybe that really, everything I just said, maybe that means absolutely nothing.
Well,
But
that's
at
why
the same
that's
time-
why I love football, man, because like it's a little bit different from basketball, where like basketball really does come down to like, all right, but do you have like the top 10 guy?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, like, this isn't really a conversation. But football, like, it really can't. Like, we've seen plenty of teams in football just win. like on years that they just have a good team. I feel like you view the Bills like I view the Ravens, and I view the Bills like you view the Ravens. I feel like that's where we're at right now.
Maybe. Listen, by all means, if the Bills made it to the Super Bowl, I
have
would
my
love
vote.
it. I would. It depends. I would love to see Detroit win.
Of course, unless you're facing
Minnesota. Right?
Minnesota. Of course,
I mean, so you'd rather them win over Detroit?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. If the Bills were playing Detroit, I'd rather the Bills.
Is it because they're an NFC North team?
Yes, but also I understand the Lions have never really had a good team. The Bills lost 4 damn Super Bowls in a row. That's one of the most impossible feats that's ever been accomplished in sports.
Yeah.
It's hard to even go to back-to-back Super Bowls. They went to 4 straight and they could not pull out one victory. And that was like that 90s Bills team is one of the greatest teams of all time. It's fantastic.
For the city of Detroit, I would love that for them. And so I'd be curious if it came down to Detroit, Buffalo. It looks like we'd be on different sides of the coin. Which I mean, at that point, I don't really care who wins, but
I wouldn't be mad if the Lions won, but like I definitely would want the Bills to win more. They've just seen more heartbreak.
It's just
Lions got to get to their Super Bowl and lose.
I will say, if Detroit and Buffalo make it, I would be happy because I would honestly be happy if either of them won.
Yeah,
I would love to see Josh Allen.
I love
get a
those
ring.
Super Bowls. I love Super Bowls. I can watch and be like,
I'd be happy for either team.
Good job. Good.
If Goff and Amon get the rings,
yeah,
like, wow, great.
Complete opposite. Steelers Packers 2011. Didn't even watch that game
because you just
only Super Bowl I have not participated in.
That's funny.
And honestly, I don't have memory of it.
What matchup could happen and realistically happen that you would be like, I don't want any part of this. I hate both teams, and I hope somehow you both lose.
There's not really ones in it for the NFC this year, but I will say I told you this a couple weeks ago. If it's Chiefs Eagles again, I'm gonna kind of be like, all right, this isn't fun. If I have to watch the Chiefs Eagles, the Chiefs 49ers, the Chiefs Eagles, the Chiefs 49ers, like it's just. Yeah. I am very big on I want to see different teams like get there. It's why I've loved basketball recently.
Yeah, basketball's been
you have like a new team that could do it every year and you're just like, yes, cool. Football's always been that way, but obviously when the Patriots and Chiefs are around, like it still is like they are a constant force.
Yeah.
So I'm all for the years that we don't have the Chiefs in the Super Bowl at this point.
Yeah. For sure.
Not that I care if they win. I don't really care if they win. Like I'm not a hater of them, but yeah, I'd love to see someone different, especially the Bills.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Okay, let's get into our ISO.
All right.
Let's clear out.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
Yeah. ISO. Carolina looked good. I'm not gonna lie. Like I know we talked about it last week, and I'm not trying to throw you under the bus, but like I think it's important. Like
you are,
huh?
But you are.
But I am because because I just felt like everything I said, you just went over and said, yeah, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Because
I own it. Yeah, I was wrong.
Can I talk?
Go ahead.
Because I did think this game was going to be close for multiple reasons. Carolina's been making noise since Bryce Young's been back. He's been playing pretty good.
Rolls ad.
And it's a divisional game. And so I wasn't very surprised that this game was competitive. It was competitive the whole way through. Went to overtime. Tampa Bay missed their first field goal attempt, and Carolina was like, we had a chance. We were driving down too. We got in a field goal. We were in field goal. We were in game-winning range, and we were just trying to get a few more yards to make it easier for a kicker. And just tragedy struck.
Tragedy. Be described as nothing less.
Listen, I'll give it up to the Bucs defense. They made a great play. They did. All right, and it is what it is. In Tampa Bay, to capitalize on it, man. They drove down, and that kicker didn't miss twice.
Yeah.
And so it's unfortunate. But at the same time, we're at the bottom of the division. We don't have playoff hopes. The Bucs do, and so it kind of makes the NFC South interesting now. So that's fine and whatnot. But like, dude, this Carolina team is feisty. It's hard to count them out just because like the way they play as of late. Even the best teams in the league are struggling against us. Oh. And our defense is Swiss cheese still. But they have these moments where they can get those stops.
Yeah.
We had two interceptions on Baker, which Baker's been pretty good about turnovers this year. So being able to turn him over was great. Our front seven was playing hard. I know Bucky ended up having a really good game.
The Bucky memes are excellent.
Yeah,
They're really funny.
But Bucky did have a good game. But obviously that game went into overtime, so a little bit extra playing time. I don't know. I'm not mad, as I love Bryce Young had a good game. I would love to see him continue this for the rest of the year because that makes things interesting for me. Again, I don't know what it took for Bryce to kind of wake up. I don't know if it was being humbled by getting benched, or if it was he just needed a little bit of time to cook under a vet and maybe learn the new offense and whatnot. But this is the Bryce that I wanted to see in the sense of, yes, we're still losing games, but Bryce looks good in these losing games.
He doesn't look completely incompetent.
Like in the first couple weeks and at the end of last season, like Bryce looked like garbage and we were garbage.
Yeah.
Like at least these games we're still losing, but it's like, hey, Bryce is looking kind of good though.
There's a vibe.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like that is so I hope you guys understand what I was saying at the beginning of the season. This is what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
This is why I was so hard on Bryce in the beginning and why I said he was garbage and why I said the things that I said was because he was not showing us this. Now he is. And I'm like, okay, young fella, like I can get on board with this. I can get on board with potential. I can't get on board with you playing like absolute garbage on top of us, our team already being garbage. So I'm happy for Bryce. I'm excited to see the rest of the way. I hope he continues to make right decisions and play good.
Yeah.
But I guess we're just playing spoiler the rest of the year. So
yeah,
we'll see
you're playing for pride for the rest of the year and for vibes going into next year.
Yeah,
We've seen a lot of teams in recent memory where like they pick it up the last like 5-6 weeks of the season. That very much carries into the next season.
For sure. And I will say at this point, if Bryce continues to be playing solid, then there's not as much need for a high draft pick because it looks like we probably won't need a quarterback. And other positions that we do need will be available.
Yeah.
We're still going to be a higher pick. But positions that and we need a lot of different positions will be available for us no matter what.
Well, Bryce did two things. He bought himself another year of being given a chance.
Yeah, I agree.
And he's also
so far we'll see how he finishes.
So I think it's gonna be pretty. He'd have to revert completely back. I think, and I don't see him reverting.
I don't see it either.
Completely back. But
to say that he can is naive.
He's also bought the organization a little bit of time to do what you said, which is like, hey, let's go try and build. Even if Bryce isn't the guy, like let's build some stuff so that way in a year or two we actually have infrastructure here to support a rookie quarterback, especially if there's some good ones coming out around that time. Especially we've seen the college landscape. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if there's 4 to 5 quarterbacks a year at this point. So like you're gonna have picks, you're gonna have options. So yeah, build up, carry the vibes out, play spoiler. Listen, nothing's better than beating division opponents and keeping them from the playoffs. Like it's a good feeling. So, all right, cool. That's going to recap. Let's go ahead and get into our free agency tracker.
Do you want to talk about the Vikings or?
Honestly, the only thing I'll say about it is simply that the only positive note I'll take away from this game, because it was rough.
Yeah.
I guess two positive notes. Aaron Jones was almost on my burn book. That was almost very upsetting.
Did his game-winning touchdown redeem him?
So this is the thing. KOC is just one of the best coaches in the league. Like, bar none. He did everything right in that game in terms of when it came to Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones fumbled twice. He benched him for a significant period of that game. And then he told him, I'm coming back to you. Like, you will get the ball. Like, we are going back to you. And he does it in the most important moment of the game. And then, like, there was a great moment afterwards where Aaron Jones is walking off the field and, like, him and KOC are having a conversation. Like, KOC's got his arm wrapped around his helmet. And he's just a great people coach, man. He just knows how to do it. He knows how to lift morale because Aaron Jones looks dead and defeated when he does that. And he was, to be honest.
He was. Because you know what it means when you fumble. Dude, you're letting your team down.
Especially because it really was the reason we were not having a lead in the beginning of the game. So for KOC to do that and for us to win that game, my other positive note is just like, listen, we might not be the best team in the NFC. I think we're a tier under the top 2 contenders. But championship teams find ways to win games like this. And, like, that's just what they do. And I understand, like, we've been the cardiac kids when it comes to one-score games these past 3 years. I think that goes really under the radar. We have the most in the league, and we have the most wins in the league in one-score games the past 3 years. They threw that up on the television during our broadcast. But, listen, we just know how to win these close games, which is a benefit to us. KOC is learning a lot more in those circumstances. Sam Darnold doesn't look awful. Like, he had his little stint of a couple games. I think this is just kind of what he's going to be. Would I be surprised if he reared back his head and, popped those up again? But no, but like he's just kind of a consistent dude right now, and he led 2 really great drives to win the game. So I'm not reading too much into it. We still got a lot of tough games to play, and this season can still go very much one way or the other. We'll see. So we'll see.
I think Sam Darnold definitely threw some bad balls. This game, there's no question.
Our whole offense was just dead for like 90% of that game.
Yeah,
it was rough.
He definitely, he threw some bad ones. But the biggest thing, and it's a credit to him, is he kept his composure the whole time, and that is ultimately I think like what allowed him obviously to lead those 2 drives.
Yeah,
like even though some bad balls were going, like next play, next play, and I mean it is good that you guys have that composure and you guys are able to pull out these close games.
Yeah,
it makes it as long as once we get to playoff time, man, now we're getting down to third, fourth quarter. If it's a 1-possession game, like by no means would you be able to count Minnesota out, because they have proven time and time again you can win these games. So I don't know, like again, I think what you're seeing from Sam Darnold, that is what you're going to get.
Yeah,
I don't think there's an extra boost that's hidden somewhere where he's gonna.
There's not that nitro button.
Yeah, like I think this is what you're getting. You're gonna get a consistent, solid guy, steps up in the pocket, makes a throw, a little like kind of like Kirk, honestly.
Yeah.
But a little bit more mobile, a little bit more. Mobile.
Oh, it is a lot more mobile, and it's really nice because there was points in those last couple drives where it's like when our offense finally started to figure stuff out, where he was bailing us out because he was just finding that
Kirk
running
would just
lane.
Die in the pocket.
Yeah,
he's at least getting out and
he gets
stepping
outside
up and like making
if it's
a
not
throw.
a bootleg, Kirk is hanging in the pocket.
Yes, Kirk would die in the pocket, and he's a little like Sam will get out that pocket
and he'll run,
and he's still looking.
He kind of does the Josh Allen sometimes, where like he puts his shoulder forward and like goes and attacks like the first down. So I'm riding it out. It looks pretty good. Not a great win, but also like a really good win. So we'll see. We've got Atlanta coming up, so we will talk about that here.
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
In our Pickems.
Yes.
We're here, actually, right now. Free agency tracker. So, any updates? Any teams catch your eye?
Washington was on the chopping block to lose the number 1 spot.
Really? Wow.
It was just for the conversation to be had.
That's a big statement.
Yes. For those of you that are maybe just joining us, we do something called free agency tracker. Something we started this year, tracking. I'm obviously, clearly, Carolina Panthers fan. But I figured, if my favorite athlete can sign with a new team to chase a ring, better situation, make more money, then as a fan, I should be able to sign with a new team as well, because they can. So why can't I?
Absolutely.
So after I kind of came up with this free agency fandom, I decided I was going to go on a farewell tour with Carolina. This is going to be my last year. Give them an opportunity to win me back.
Mm-hmm.
We've had some ups and downs, but they're not out of it. And, but we've been going week by week and kind of tracking some teams that I might be interested in. There's some rules and regulations within it all, but, we'll kind of
get to some more of those as it goes on later.
Yeah, we can go into when it really matters once my decision is coming up. But as of right now, we can just talk about the teams that are kind of at the top of my list.
Yeah.
I know my top 3 at the end of last week was Washington, Tampa Bay, and Houston.
Yep.
So I think Washington is firmly holding number 1 still.
Yeah, they've been kind of hanging that number 1 all season. So
Tampa Bay is fun. They're frisky. I enjoy them. I just like Baker a lot.
I guess my one question for Tampa for you would be like, once Baker's gone,
I know.
Like, do you I don't feel like you'd stick with them.
Baker just signed a 3-year deal?
Yeah.
So I might sign a 2-year deal.
He'll probably honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Bucks offer him another contract.
An extension.
But
the decision doesn't have to be made till before the 2025 draft,
mm-hmm.
right? So I want to see what some pieces that they add. I'm holding out on Godwin. Want to see how he recovers. I think he might be out for the season. If they make a deep run, he might come back.
I don't know.
No, he might. If they make a deeper run, there's a chance. But as of right now, it's he's pretty much out for the season. Houston, they did win, but it still didn't look like
They're just not going to be that team this year.
I know.
Like I know you want them to be, but they're not going.
And
to
that's
be.
but it's scary because it's like now you've got 1 year of like phenomenal ball, 1 year of mediocre ball. What is this team actually?
Yeah, but I mean, I think we can attribute a little bit to sophomore slumpies.
I know, but
That's what I'm attributing.
I don't have a lot of experience in watching a quarterback really, like CJ Stroud and like.
Well,
how
that's the thing
plays
is like
out.
he's kind of an outlier. Like I mean, the closest thing I guess we have to it is like, I mean, Dak had a really fantastic first year. I can't remember if the second year was a terrible dip. It definitely wasn't as great as the first year. But then I mean, we obviously see what the Cowboys have been consistently for a long time.
Yeah. So it's like,
so we've seen stuff like that.
I mean, there's a risk in anywhere, right? Because then Jaden Daniels next year could be mediocre. You know
oh
what
yeah,
I mean?
honestly, I'd kind of bet on it.
Yeah.
So
it's like, I mean, I'm really watching Jaden Daniels. I want to see the potential. I think he has something a little bit different from CJ because he does have the Lamar Jackson-esque like. But Jaden Daniels, I think at least at this point in his career, is a better thrower than Lamar.
I thought you were gonna say than CJ. I was like, whoa.
Than what Lamar was his first couple years. But Jaden Daniels also can move. So it's like it's a little different because CJ doesn't love to run.
No, he's a pocket passer.
Yeah, he doesn't like to run as much.
Him and Joe Burrow are kind of really the I think like the newest of the last like true pocket passers.
Like they'll get out if they need to, but they like to stay in the pocket.
Yeah, most
so I don't know. I'd say the 3 is still where they are.
Any movement at the bottom? I mean, we got the probably for this team at 4 we had the Bengals, 5 Panthers, 6 Rams, 7 Broncos. Probably snuck your way on there, and then 8 Bears.
I'll probably just leave it where it is. Yeah,
depending on tonight, maybe the Broncos
could take a step up. I mean, again that team kind of scares me as well, just because
New Baker.
But he doesn't have the Baker swag.
No, not at all.
Like that's the thing about Baker. Like Baker's a solid quarterback. He's a fun, energetic, frisky quarterback, but he is a villain, and he's got the swagger. And it's like that is what I identify in Baker. Is like he doesn't mind being the villain. Yeah, he loves it actually. Yeah. He's got the swag. He plays with the swag, and then he's a solid quarterback. He always kind of has been. He's been in some, unfortunate situations, but I loved him when he was in Carolina. Yeah. I didn't hate him as much as a lot of people did. He couldn't win us as many games as we'd like, but by all means, man, I'm a Baker guy, so I don't know. We'll kind of keep it where it is.
Bo Nix is the Tim Tebow of Baker Mayfield's.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
interesting.
That's what it is.
So like the college Tim Tebow? Or
no.
The NFL Tim
Just
Tebow?
Like kind of like the I don't know. They got similar body types. Like the way they kind of form wise, like it's kind of similar. Tim Tebow had that ugly little left-handed thing that he was doing all the time. Strong Christian people, faith, quieter, not going to be like loud in your face on the field.
I know, which I like.
Yeah,
it's like kind of like Baker.
Yeah. No, you like Baker. That's way
Baker.
more your speed.
I love everything he's about.
Yeah.
And I love that Baker is for like the fan base. Like he loves Tampa.
Oh, he
Bay.
loves Tampa.
He loves Tampa.
Surprised I haven't seen him just
Tampa
like walking around anywhere.
Sure.
I don't ever see Tampa players.
Yeah.
I work in Tampa. I don't ever see them anywhere.
Well,
I'm gonna find you.
Keep looking.
Bucky. All right, let's get into our pick'ems for the week.
The Patrick pick'ems.
The Patrick pick'ems.
So
updates
going into Monday.
Yep.
We're not in it.
Sick.
Okay. Let me just lay it out there.
We got cucked.
4 teams, undefeated bracket.
Stupid.
Or if that's what you want to call it, undefeated, whatever.
That's stupid.
4 teams, completely.
I don't
zero
believe
losses.
these people actually know ball. This is like incredible.
Dude,
luck.
This guy, like one of these guys has to be like Boston Connor. Like these guys have to be like sports, dang near sports analysts.
Yeah.
They have to work for ESPN or something. The way that
if they don't have spreadsheets up on multiple monitors in their room, I'm gonna be pissed that I can't beat these people.
If these guys are just going to work, grabbing the sheet, circling, and they're
I will say though, this guy in my league at my work, he's on the verge of winning 3 weeks in a row, and he's won more than anybody else. He is just that classic like old dude who's been watching ball for a long time, and just like doesn't really do a lot of like
thinking,
research or anything. He's just like, yep, I'm gonna pick this game like this.
That's dude, and by all means, like maybe we're doing too much.
I hope to gather that wisdom in my age.
Knowing you, probably not. You still make the right decision.
Listen, my win-loss record for Pickems speaks differently, but
ours is not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
Compared to these people, we are the Vikings. We are a tier below the top people. So all right, so let's get into it. I mean, we've got. Hey, I will say, this week we've got a little bit more spice.
Okay.
We've got a little bit more information we're cooking with here.
Talk to me. We've got a guy in the chair now.
We've got a guy in the chair.
Our very own Hembo, as he would like to say.
We do. Okay, so we're coming at you with a little bit more information than we typically have.
We had to upgrade because clearly what we've been doing hasn't been working.
We literally had to hire a new guy. I want you to know, Patrick, we literally hired a new guy because we just can't seem to get it done. We're just picking off vibes.
We really are.
We're just sitting
couple
here,
dudes having conversations.
Couple dudes chatting it up.
Not terrible either, but
no, but now we've got to roll back the sleeves.
Yeah,
a little bit.
We have to be like real podcasters now.
Now we're gonna you know what? I can't take this slander anymore. So we're coming for that win. Best believe if we do win one of these, it's going to be in our description of our show
for sure.
We are going to announce it.
Yeah,
everywhere we
2024 week whatever
14. We're going in week 14.
Undefeated champions.
Patrick Pickems champion. So
all right, let's get into this. Tell me what we're dealing with first.
Let's get into this. All right, let me pull up the first game. Is going to be an interesting one. Okay, it's Thursday night.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Got Green Bay and Detroit.
Yeah, toughy.
So, let me pull up.
The spread is 3.5 right now.
Okay.
Detroit's favored. They are home. Only thing that kind of scares me about going away from Detroit in this game is simply, I guess, two things. A, they beat the Packers already this year. So, division splits more likely than sweep. But also, their defense got even more hurt this past weekend. And at this point, it's starting to mount up. Like, they lost their linebacker, the other guy who wasn't Anzalone.
Yeah.
So they, still got a young, talented secondary. And even their defensive front has actually been playing really well, and the scheme has been providing a lot of the gaps. But yeah, I'm hesitant. I don't see why we shouldn't pick the Lions, but at the same time, would I be surprised if Green Bay pulls this out? No, I wouldn't. But I think the Lions are the better team, the more talented team. They've been playing better as of late. From our very own Hembo.
Yeah.
Last 10 years, they're completely down the middle.
Yep, 10-10.
20 games, 10-10. Lions versus Aaron Rodgers, not so hot. Jordan Love, very hot.
Yes.
3-1 Jordan Love, 5-9 Aaron Rodgers. And after Turkey Day wins, Packers are very good. Notoriously, they come off. They've got a 4-2 record off of Turkey Day wins. So they are on the road. I'm probably gonna go with the Lions. Like I said, I just think they're the talents. I think they're the more talented team. I think they're just better, especially at home. They've got a nasty home field advantage. And I don't think the defensive loss of the linebacker is going to completely sabotage them against this Packers team.
Yeah.
But willing to hear thoughts if you have any arguments against that and for the Packers.
Green Bay also lost some players.
Did they?
Yeah. They lost a corner and a defensive lineman. So, I don't know. I agree that linebacker shouldn't cripple Detroit's defense.
For sure.
Obviously, the Lions being 3-1 against Jordan Love, I like that statistic.
Yeah.
Maybe, for Jordan Love, this is just Detroit's always just a really tough team for him.
Yeah.
That being said, I want to take Detroit and mostly because they're home. If they were in Lambeau, I'd maybe feel a little different.
Yeah.
But this Lions team is a buzzsaw. Goff has shown that even if I think the Packers are one of the best teams at turning the ball over.
Yeah.
Even if Goff does turn the ball over, he's proven that he can throw. He threw early this season 5 interceptions and still won the game.
Yeah, they still won the game against Houston.
So it's I don't know. I'm not too scared, and I'm sorry, bro, but I'm just not a big believer in Jordan Love. I still am not. And I know he's been solid for them. I know they've been winning games. But I just really don't believe in him that much. And this Lions team is just going to attack you from so many different fronts. This is what the problem is, right? Marano is going to pop off, break off. If you cover him, J-Mo's over the top. If you cover both of them, okay. But you can't stop Monty and
Sonic and Knuckles is going to damage you in more
Gibbs.
ways than one.
So it's like you pick your poison with them, and
Yeah.
it's tough. I
Our
think Lions is the safer bet here.
Yeah, our expert statistician wants to go with Green Bay, but unfortunately, you're outruled 2-1. I think we're both in favor of the Lions. Let's keep moving.
Alrighty. Next, we've got Jacksonville and Tennessee. Obviously, Trevor's not going to be back.
I really just have one comment for this game.
Okay, what is it?
Can you reasonably pick Mac Jones?
No.
Okay, cool.
But it's like at the same time, it's like this is one of those games, bro. It's like Mac
comes out 300 yards.
Yeah, watch Mac pull it off. But it's like I want to say this Tennessee defense is solid. I want to say they're going to cause problems, and then hopefully Will Levis
coming off a bad loss.
Yeah, and hopefully just Will Levis can just play solid ball. That's all they really kind of need. They don't need anything else. They just need him to play solid.
Yeah, Tennessee's favored in this game, but it's not absolutely like insane favored.
So, the Jets are going to travel down to Miami to play the Dolphins. This feels like a trap game.
It really for like the Jets to win.
Yeah,
interesting.
I'm scared
because what I'm thinking more of is two teams coming off of really bad losses, but I think for Miami it's more of a pride thing of coming off a loss like they did in the cold, being labeled softies again. And like this feels to me like one of their games where their offense just kind of goes crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I see both sides.
Give me the Jet side.
They can't be that bad.
Just like we've talked about the Bengals, this is how we've gone about with the Jets the entire time too.
But it's like I hear your point, and it's like I see both sides, and I just want to approach every game with caution because I really want to make sure we make our decision and we have substance behind it, so that when we get it wrong, we're like, well, this was our train of thought, and it wasn't bad.
Yeah,
I like your train of thought. New York, I see the Jets winning a couple more this year, 1 or 2 more. This just feels like a trap. It feels like, okay, yeah, Miami should take this off a loss, being labeled soft, but then they don't.
Sure.
You know what I mean? They don't. And it could be a witching hour one. You know what I mean? It could be it feels like one of those, like the game will be close until the end, but
I'm curious to see what the Jets record in Miami has been past couple of years.
Yeah. I think it's safest to take Miami just because they are home. Them coming out and saying we played soft only means they're gonna come out and not play soft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I'm good to take Miami here.
Yeah, I mean the last couple games, Miami has 3 out of the 4 games they've obliterated them by like 30 points. Very different Jets team.
Very different Jets team though. Very different.
Well, honestly, statistically, it's really not that different.
Yeah,
but the Dolphins are 7-2 versus them the past 5 years. So, I think the safer pick is the Dolphins. So I'm gonna go with the Dolphins.
Gotcha.
Division games like that, they absolutely could be traps though.
Yeah.
So
let's take Miami though. Let's take it.
Now, if Tyrod plays, maybe it's a different conversation. I don't think it's happening.
That is true. I don't think Tyrod will play this game though.
No, I don't think so.
But next we've got Falcons and Vikings.
Yeah.
Interesting. Last 10 games, 6-4.
Yep.
I think Vikings.
Yep.
On top on the 6 out of the 4. Kirk is 2-0 versus previous teams.
Both those being with the Vikings and against Washington.
Yes, and against Washington.
Yeah.
That was I think that's the only other team he's played for.
Yep.
Obviously, the Vikings coming off a 1 possession game win, tough win. Falcons coming off a 3. 3 losses. I feel like if they want a shot at winning this division and or making the playoffs, like they kind of have to win this game.
Yeah, they kind of do.
Kirk came off an embarrassing, absolutely, utterly embarrassing performance.
Yeah,
you would think a competitor like him would
bounce back.
Would bounce back. On top of that, he's coming home.
Yeah,
it's tough. You think the Vikings fans are going to boo him or cheer for him?
Not
cheer for him, but say welcome home.
It's that Minnesota nice. I don't think they'll boo him. That being said, Kirk has failed us a lot of times in that building.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There is definitely a world where Kirk Cousins comes back and just throws for a ton of yards, makes this a game. I don't know, man. Just the way that Falcons team is playing recently, we are riding a win streak right now, so it definitely could be it's coming time for like a loss somewhere in here.
But it's like, do we want to big brain this?
I'm going to tell you what I've told you the past 3 weeks. I just think we ride this Vikings train until it burns us. And we haven't been wrong so far. Like, we rode it all the way through this win streak. So, not terrible. I think we are the better team. I think, especially in our stadium, I think our defense is better suited for Kirk as well. Because we throw coverages and blitzes everywhere. And to say, like, he kind of knows our defense, I don't even really know if that's true because he played against Brian Flores' defense 1 year, and that evolves so much just because Brian Flores just changes up schemes so much. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if that really benefits him. Maybe he's able to help out, like, the Falcons' defense scheme against the offense a little bit just because that's the same, and it's still Kevin O'Connell, like, pulling the strings. So maybe that provides a little bit of an advantage. Definitely you're going to want to play well going home, but I think also the Vikings too, like, I think they kind of want to stick it to Kirk for leaving. Because, like, at the end of the day, like, he left.
Yeah.
I understand we didn't offer him, but, like, he also decided to leave. So, I don't know. You
didn't offer him as much, or you didn't offer him at all?
We had deals, like, ready to give him. It just wasn't going to be for as long as he wanted.
Yeah.
I think money-wise, it was even around the same. Just length-wise, it wasn't going to be the same.
Gotcha.
And then they went and drafted Penix. He's even been on the record stating, like, if I knew that was going to happen, like, I definitely would have thought about the Minnesota situation, like, differently.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm going Vikings.
Yeah, we can go Vikings.
Sorry, decision. Sorry.
I think more for me is this game is very close, and our rule is we take the home team.
Yeah.
And, like, that's where I'm at, not because of much more. I think this game is going to be pretty even as far as, like, making a pick. I think
spread is 4.5 Vikings favorite right now.
I think as far as, like, all the people that are going to be picking this game, it's going to be pretty, like, this is going to be, like,
I don't think it's going to be pretty
close.
50-50.
So I'm good to go with the home team here, which is Minnesota. So, New Orleans at New York.
A terrible game.
Yeah, I mean,
Taysom Hill's hurt.
Yeah, he is.
Drew Lock played a game.
Yeah, I think he had a pretty solid game.
It
wasn't terrible.
I'll pull up some of the stats from the game.
I mean, I don't really care. I'm going to take New Orleans.
You're going to take New Orleans?
I feel like so.
I do think this is a frisky trap game. I think this is a good underdog pick.
I wouldn't.
Right now.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So, especially because, like, that Giants defense can, I think, at least play a little bit of ball, especially, like, in that weather for a dome team. I don't know. Like, I'm good with picking the Saints. I will say, though, if we have to pick up some underdogs, this would probably be a good one to come back to.
Let's come back to this one. Carolina at Philadelphia. Just take Philadelphia, but I wouldn't mind if Bryce Young kind of makes it a little bit of a game, but this team's a buzzsaw. We're not good against buzzsaws.
No.
I would not say Kansas City is not a buzzsaw.
Not this year, they're not.
Not this year.
No.
But Philly kind of does, and we're not stopping Saquon. We're not. He's going to put up a crazy game.
I think that defense is a little bit different than some that you've seen the past couple weeks as well. Even the Chiefs defense hasn't been playing well, but that Eagles defense is playing all the role right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who Bryce is going to throw to.
I don't know either.
Adam Thielen is not going to handle Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah.
He's just not going to.
It's tough. It's going to be it should be a slaughter.
Bad beat.
I'm good to take Philadelphia there. Cleveland at Pittsburgh.
We got to stop picking against Pittsburgh.
We do. Pittsburgh.
That might be the only reason we have to pick them this week.
Yeah.
We have to stop doing it.
I don't even want to say, like, depends what Cleveland does tonight. Pittsburgh.
Happy Jameis.
It's just Pittsburgh.
Happy Jameis coming into
Jameis
Pittsburgh.
Would be the one, bro.
Smiling and all. What a beautiful night.
I'm still taking Pittsburgh.
Yeah, no, we got to stop picking them.
Vegas versus Tampa in Tampa.
Tampa should bounce back after a pretty rough Carolina game. That's my thought. This Vegas team just isn't good. Tampa's talented. Tampa's still pretty talented.
It's Aiden O'Connell.
They got playmakers everywhere still.
Aiden O'Connell's leading them.
Yeah, on the road. I don't know.
It's tough. It's Tampa Bay. Go to Tampa Bay. Hawks and Arizona. I think we have some stats on this one.
This is for the division lead right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is a good one.
This is a good one.
Last 10 games, Seahawks are 7-3 against the Cardinals. what is it? Cardinals are 3-2 in games after a loss.
Okay.
So I mean,
Good bounce back team.
solid bounce back team. I mean, almost 500 there.
Yeah.
Seahawks have won 16. Have been 16-6 at home.
No. They won 16-6 at home on November 24th.
Oh, against Arizona.
Yeah.
So you think they split?
What's this game in? Arizona? Yeah. Seahawks just came off an emotional win too.
But the Seahawks are 4-1 in away games.
True, and I do think that defense is coming together a little bit more. They didn't look like it the first half, but they definitely, kind of bounced back and found their stride a little bit. I could see a split in this division.
Yeah, a split makes sense, especially with teams this close for it being a divisional game. But it's like the
Cardinals are favored right now.
The stats say the Hawks.
Recent statistics do, but I will say this Cardinals team I think is a little bit better than the Cardinals teams we've seen, like at least the past 2 years. They're definitely more frisky. What's the spread on this game? The spread was 3. Arizona's favored by 3. I want to pick Arizona. I wouldn't hate the Hawks pick though. Like I don't hate it. I think it's close enough for me to say like this is a home game. If we wanted to come back and pick some underdogs, this is definitely one I feel like could flip.
I just feel like I'm leaning Hawks. I looked at what our statistician was kind of leaning towards. He's leaning towards Seattle as well.
Can I offer you another perspective?
Yeah, I want to get it right. I don't care who wins.
How many people do we think are going to pick the Seahawks over the Cardinals? Do we think it's more likely that people pick the Seahawks over the Cardinals than the Cardinals over the Seahawks? Because I think it is.
That is a fantastic question to be asking.
Because I think it is.
I think people are going to take Seattle more than Arizona.
Yeah. I think the bias is kind of big for Seattle after what they did and how they looked, but
you bring up a good point, but then at the same time, if we lose this one, it's going to hurt us double. It's going to hurt us double.
It is.
At least if we lose it with everyone.
It's kind of the risk we got to take sometime. I get what you're saying there. If we lose it with everybody.
Because the Patriots one really hurt us this year. I mean, granted, there's 4 people that went perfect.
That one really hurt us. That was really annoying.
We were one of 16 people to take the Patriots out of 78 people.
I think that's just silly, though. Like, I think that's just a bunch of people, like, expecting, like, thinking the Colts are better when they're really kind of, like, equal level teams.
If we won that one, we were in very good.
Yeah.
But because we lost almost double because now everybody kind of got the freebie and we try to get frisky. I understand your logic. And
what are you thinking?
Let's come back to it because we're already coming back to another game. Let's come back to it. Let's sit on it a little bit. Buffalo and Los Angeles.
Talk about a sneaky underdog pick to pick. Just like a weird trap game it could be.
Interesting.
I do think, like, Buffalo's the pick. But
if the Rams had played a little bit better these last few games, I'd be more inclined to say yes.
That's fair.
They haven't.
That's fair.
And this Buffalo team is.
Could I see the Rams though, just like Puka and Cooper going off and Kyron going off for like a game? I absolutely could see that. So Buffalo's the safer pick. They're the better team. They should win this game. I believe too. I know I have that one game in my mind, but Buffalo, remember, opened the season against them last year, I believe, or it was 2 years ago, and they beat them really bad. And so Buffalo like knows how to play this Rams team. Von Miller has a little bit of extra. I don't know how much he cares, but he used to play for the Rams. Got a little bit of extra oomph.
He won a ball with them, right?
So I think Buffalo's
let's go safe here.
Let's go
safe here because everybody's going to take Buffalo.
Especially too
if we're going to get frisky.
If we want to go down with the ship, then
Chicago at San Fran. I'm good to take Chicago.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Coach bump.
New coach bump.
San Fran just lost their 2 running backs, so they're on the 3rd.
That's a good frisky pick to pick. They also did just get humiliated by Buffalo, though.
Yeah, but I don't know if this. I don't know. But the Bears also just had one of the most embarrassing losses. And
I'm down for like a huge Caleb game. This would be a great win for him.
Dude, he's been playing
He's
solid.
been balling.
Even last game, he had a good game.
Yeah.
It wasn't his fault.
I don't hate this because this is a good underdog pick.
San Fran's the favorites?
Yeah. Absolutely, they're at home. They got a better record, 5-7, 4-8. Also, San Fran just gets that bump. They're gonna get that bump because they're San Fran. So
I'm down to go Chicago here, honestly.
I don't hate it.
Chicago
I don't hate it. Let's do Chicago. I don't hate it.
Cool. This one. Chargers at Kansas City.
This is a tough game. Kansas City's favored by 4. I don't. This is another one where like I'm kind of good with if Kansas City is gonna lose any more games, this is probably one of the last few that they're gonna have a chance to lose.
I will say
this in Pittsburgh.
Ladd is out. Ladd is questionable.
Is he really?
He's questionable.
That's probably just because he didn't practice today. Well, it's Monday, so if he's questionable,
he went out last game with a knee injury.
Oh, did he really? I didn't see that.
And then Dobbins obviously is out.
That hurts. That's so unfortunate. That's so annoying. More Chiefs voodoo magic.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
So Herbert could be playing without his number 1 receiver.
Perspective, I'd say Chiefs, but if some injury report stuff comes out later this week that shows Ladd's at least playing, I don't hate switching this pick to the Chargers.
Chargers are 2-4 against winning record teams. So not great. Chiefs, 9 of their wins were by 1 score or less. So, I mean, when we know that, they've been pulling out some voodoo, crazy close games.
Yeah.
Then the Chiefs against winning records, they're 5-1. So they're very comfortable beating teams that win games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, but this is what's weird about the Chiefs is the eye test doesn't match up with the stats.
I know.
Because you see the stats, you're like, oh, wow, 5-1 against winning records. Like, oh, wow, that's really good. Oh, 9 wins by 1 score or less. Then they can really pull out close games. Then you watch them like, they're playing like trash.
No, I agree.
But then they pull out the win, and it's just a W in the column. So the Chiefs are just very difficult. Then again, we did say if we pick the Chiefs every week, we're going to get burned, 2 or 3 times?
We've only been burned once.
But we did. We took Buffalo. We took Buffalo that week.
Oh, it's true. We haven't been burned by the Chiefs.
But we bet against them on that one because we knew. We're like, Buffalo's good.
I will say if we get the one
and the second
one right,
I just don't know if the Chargers will be able to pull it out.
I don't know, man.
Because I will say their defense hasn't looked.
It's still playing pretty well.
It hasn't looked as good as it has in the beginning of the season. And I know obviously what they just did against Atlanta like kind of messes that up a little bit, but I would say that's more Kirk than it was their defense.
I don't remember what stat I saw, but I saw a stat that they still have one of the better. I don't remember if it was like a point differential thing or what, but their defense, make no mistake, is still playing really well. Like it has been. Like statistically, it's still one of the top defenses. Do I trust it against the Chiefs and Arrowhead? I don't know.
I think Lamar shredded it. I think Pat can shred it.
It just hasn't been his MO though this year.
I know, but if you cover everything, that's fine. He's just gonna run.
Listen, you take the Chiefs.
I'm just scared.
I might take a gander at this game myself later in the season. Points allowed. They're still number 1 in points allowed in the league. 15.9. They're one of the better red zone defenses too. They say that at every broadcast. I say that.
Did we take the Jets or the Miami?
Miami.
Okay, because Sauce is out. Was injured a hamstring.
Oh,
injury.
definitely Miami then.
Philly is. Ed Reed went out with a concussion this last week, so
he'll probably be gone.
He might be gone.
That's not going to be enough against this team.
Yeah, I agree.
Last pick.
I'm trying to look at all the other.
We got Cincy at Dallas.
Why is this so difficult? And we need a point.
Yeah.
Point thing for this. I'm good for Cincy.
Patrick, we're sorry. We're so sorry. We're so sorry.
There's no way in good conscience you could take Dallas.
Because guess what? I'm good for Cincy too. Come on, son. This is so bad.
This is bad.
Dallas is gonna burn us so hard in this game, and I'm gonna hate it.
I don't think so. We've been good against Dallas. We've taken them every single time, and we took them the time they won.
Here's my thing with Dallas. I do not think Dallas can put up as many points as the Bengals.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
Bengals turned over the ball a bunch and still scored 38 Granted, garbage time touchdown, but still 31
Yeah, it's
against
still
a
lot of
solid
points.
defense.
Yeah.
Better defense than the Cowboys.
So I'm good for Cincy.
I'm good with Cincy on
Point total.
They are favored right now.
Point total. What is the spread for that game?
The spread for this game is currently
What's the total points?
49.5. Cincy's favored by pretty much a touchdown.
I'm good to take like 47.
What if can we look at the Bengals last couple games?
They scored 99 points the last 3 games. I thought we'd been over this.
So their point totals the last couple games though. I mean, what is that? That's 82.
Jeez. Was that against Baltimore?
That's Steelers.
Okay, that was 82. Oh my gosh.
82. Then we have 61. Then we have 69. Then we have 65. Then we have 54. So
let's go 58.
they are riding a 4-game 60 total.
Should we go like 58?
Yeah, it just depends on how much you think Dallas is going to score. I think 58 is
Cooper
good.
Rush is competent. Is
competent to score but how much? Are we talking like 3 touchdowns worth? 4 touchdowns worth?
I think he can do 4.
I don't know if he can give me 4. I think he can give me 3 and a field
and a
goal.
bunch of field
And
goals. I think they can
get in range.
Most drives get,
especially against this defense.
Isn't their kicker one of the best kickers in the league?
Oh yeah, he's the guy he would be if he was on the field kicking field goals more.
But
fair. Because they don't get to the point.
But I think they can get in the field goal range against this team.
They've been better lately. Against this defense too. I don't. Yeah, 58. I think 58 is a good.
Let's go.
I don't know if people are gonna go that high.
Let's go. 58. We're going high.
We do have to come to a decision about the Giants, Saints, and Arizona Seahawks.
Okay, hold on. So I want to look at the injury reports. So you said
Giants and Aints. Again, I think the Giants are a good underdog pick here. We don't have many right now.
The who?
The Giants. They're a good underdog pick. The only underdogs we have picked right now is Chicago, and that's it.
So the Saints are missing Taysom Hill, obviously out for the year. They're missing their center and their guard.
Giants' defensive line is really good.
So Saints are missing their center, their guard, and Tyrann Mathieu got hurt last Sunday.
That's not good.
He's questionable. Giants, Dexter Lawrence is out.
Oh.
Dislocated his elbow.
Right, well,
and he's on IR.
That changes things.
Tight end Theo Johnson, which I think he was starting for them. Not sure, but he's season-ending injury. He's gone. And then another defensive lineman, DJ Davidson, out with injured shoulder.
So literally the strength of this team versus
yeah. So their franchise defensive tackle is on IR, so he's not playing.
That made the conversation completely differently. I think I'm still going to pick the Giants. I think it's a good underdog pick. We need another underdog pick. We've only got the Bears right now. Giants are home. Drew Lock can cook up some stuff. I don't know. Why not?
Sure. I'll just follow you on this.
They scored 24 points against Dallas.
Yeah.
So
I'll follow your lead on this one.
All right, Patrick, you can blame me. You can blame me on this. That's his way of saying if I'm wrong, you can blame me. That's his way of saying.
I just don't have a strong opinion, so I'm down to blame you if we get it wrong. That's what I'm saying.
Oh man, I'm trying to look at what Drew Lock's stats were that game, but we'll get. He had 178 yards and a touch and an interception. Cooper Rush had a whopping 195 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yeah,
so quite the barn burner.
I just think that's what we got. And wait, wasn't there another game since we took the Giants?
Yeah, and then Hawks and Cardinals. Got to pick. I think
this. If we're gonna win a week, we have to hit on a frisky. You know what I mean? Like we have to.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm good to go Arizona, even though I feel like Seattle's gonna win. It being a divisional game, this out of most divisional games that are happening feels the most like should split.
Yeah.
So it's like
teams are very even. That Arizona defense is actually a lot better than I thought they were.
So for that, like I'm down to go Arizona because I do agree. I think a lot of people are going to take Seattle. I actually won't even be surprised if it's actually a little bit more 50-50.
I wouldn't be either.
But I think majority still will take Seattle.
I like Arizona. I like Arizona.
Cool.
All right, there's our picks. Ride 'em high. We've only got a few more weeks of trying this out.
And this one, like last week, I felt confident.
Yeah, I felt really confident last week.
This week, I'm not.
I
I'm
felt
not
really
super confident. That might be a good thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Really was that freaking damn Patriots-Colts game. I mean, I understand people went undefeated, but that Patriots-Colts game, I'm gonna be salty about that one.
Yeah, that sucked.
Oh man. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up there.
Yes.
Talked a lot about this week. There's a lot. It's a good week of football.
Yeah.
Can't wait to be back next week. Playoff picture is starting to really solidify. Probably will have even more solidify. I believe a couple teams can clinch next week. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun talking about that. We will catch you guys coming around the house next week. Also look out for some college football stuff. We've got a reveal show coming out tomorrow, obviously, for the playoff. And then we've got conference championship weekend coming up. That's big implications. We'll have our friend Baguette come and help us out with some stuff to talk about there. So until then, we will catch y'all next time. Peace.